Walking Blind is hosted by overly emotional dudes who overthink and overanalyze everything. Nothing the hosts say should be taken as medical advice or opinion. They're not professionals, and they're about to make that very clear. So just kick back and hang with them, because you've earned it. Now cue that music. Welcome back, episode 3 or something like that.
2.5.
2.5. Episode 2.5.
Yeah.
We're gonna do before we start. I want to try a little shit I learned on TikTok experiment here, because if you don't know already, Perez is a big Dr. Pepper fan.
My brother and mom are probably bigger fans than I am, but.
So supposedly the combination of these two things of Coca-Cola and root beer is supposed to be Dr. Pepper. So I guess I'm just gonna 50-50 pour it in here.
That's good. I needed a drink. I had a band practice with Burner State today.
Do you want to tell people about Burner State while I pour these cups?
Yes, Burner State is a punk band that I'm in with some just buddies from high school. And we technically started right before like COVID, basically, but we didn't really get going until like all the lockdowns. There's not a whole lot to do, but it was really helpful for like teaching me how to like record on my own. And when I say record on my own, I had like a little recording program on my phone. I would just sing in my bathroom. But eventually, Tron and MBR. He sent me like an actual like recording kit and painfully walked me through how to set it up. I felt so bad for him.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm like,
because you're kind of technology dumb.
Yes, very. I got it eventually, but the whole time I just felt so bad. I was like, oh,
I'm sorry, I'm putting you through this. So I guess like there's no like, you'll be able to tell which one's which, obviously, because of just the way that they look. But all right, so I don't know if you want to try the Dr. Pepper first or the mix first.
I'll try the mix first because I want to see if.
Okay.
Are you gonna try this too? Or have you tried it already?
I haven't tried it yet, but I'm curious.
So right out the gates, it smells like root beer.
Because it's got the foam on top. It's got the big foamy head on top. It's all like root beer.
It tastes like a sweeter root beer.
Like a sweeter root beer?
Yeah. I like it. It's like a root beer with a little bite.
But, okay, so try that one.
Yeah, right away. Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, it's not.
I feel like I could see that being a thing.
I don't think it would fool. This is not going to fool like the fans.
This isn't the ginger ale like the.
Which we gotta try that
Coke
too.
and Sprite.
I don't know if I believe that one. Sprite with a splash of Coke, because it doesn't have the bite of ginger ale. It doesn't have the ginger bite.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe the proportions were different.
Maybe we just need to pour it differently. Add more Coke.
I think more Coke.
We lead interesting lives, folks.
Originally, I wanted to do I forget what we even called it, but basically just trying like exotic fruits.
That could still be a thing.
We should still make it a thing. I don't have buddy Mason. Bring him on here. He'll be our fruit extraordinaire.
You just need to give it a.
This doesn't sound weird. This smells like Colgate. Smells like toothpaste.
Yeah, it's weird.
Okay, that I
So that tastes more like Dr. Pepper.
I don't know. I don't even know if I don't know if it's Dr. Pepper, but it definitely tastes less like root beer.
So maybe we're just using maybe A&W is just some really powerful root beer. Maybe we need to use like Barks.
I don't know.
That'll do.
I'll try it.
Sure.
Keep our germs to each other.
It's all right. I've been hanging out this whole pandemic.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna slowly introduce raccoon stuff.
Just bring more and more shit to the table.
Yeah. The mug. Got this from Megan. Megan from the Breaking Point video. Burner State cup, which apparently we had these at the barbecue show, and I didn't know they were a thing.
I didn't even see those at the show.
Right.
But
Well,
all right, let's jump into it.
yeah. So
Today on our intro series, basically, we're going to be talking. We talked about what's been going on for the past 7 years, essentially, where you guys have been, what you guys have been doing, what you've been doing personally, going to school and everything, as a recap. So if you haven't listened to those episodes, it's part 1 and part 2. You can check those out. And then now that we are almost current, like with the timeline, we're talking about the record, the EP. So today is the 28th. There's how many days in November? 30? So we've got 5 days.
Yeah.
5 days until the new EP drops, essentially. So in honor of that, you guys have heard some of the songs. You guys have not heard others.
Yeah, the other 4. Yeah.
So we're gonna what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a breakdown on the actual songs and talk about, one, like the inspiration behind like where your headspace was at when you were writing this record, and then 2, talk about the songs, break them down, so that like by the time the record comes out, this show should be out right around the same time.
Cool.
And then and then you guys can kind of listen to the record, come back here, listen here. Who knows? Maybe we'll give a little sneak peek at a song that you guys hadn't quite heard yet or something, and drop early. I don't know.
You know what's funny is I was gonna try to listen to the songs on the way here just to kind of see if anything like jogs any memories and stuff. And I got a new phone, and on my new phone I don't have our new album.
Any of it?
So I had to download the songs from or the 3 that are available from iTunes. So
Nice. I have them, so we can play them.
all right, cool. Well, all right. So, and I asked Mike if this was cheating because as hopefully some of you guys will see in our booklets for the vinyl, for the CD, there's I did like a write up for each song, like a what's it called, like a synopsis or
Yeah, essentially like a shortened version of what we're doing here. Like
Yes.
a little breakdown
yeah.
of the song and the lyrics.
Just because like especially since we knew it was going to be an EP and wasn't like a full length, so I figured if we weren't going to do a full length, we might as well try to add just something. And so we've never done anything like this before, so but it was cool. I was stoked that the band thought it was a good idea. I was stoked that the label thought it was a cool idea. And so so I'm just gonna read like kind of what's in the booklet. So some of you guys are gonna be like, oh, why is he reading that? This is also for myself, kind of. Yeah.
So another thing too that I want to talk about with the EP is that you have album art that has like sparked up a little bit of online controversy. It's sparked up a little bit of conversation about like the symbols used and like is NBR like
into the occult? Yeah.
Is NBR into the occult? Does NBR like the devil? Shit like that. So if you look at the album artwork and then like if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll throw a clip here or a picture here or something like that of the artwork. If you're just listening on audio, then you can pull this up whenever you see the record or pull it up on iTunes or Spotify. But so essentially each song, if I understand this right, has a symbol for the song, right?
Yeah.
Like a little graphic art piece.
Can I say what my original idea was?
Yeah.
So my original idea was, I think it sounds awesome, but in the end, it made sense to go the route we did just because it was more cohesive, and then probably less of a nightmare as far as trying to get everything squared away. I wanted each song to have its own artwork, and so I thought, why don't we reach out to friends of ours that are artists, all kinds of artists, give them the song, like just give them a song and just tell them like this is the song, some of the lyrics, whatever you want to do, like it's yours. And so they would, whatever they wanted to, do font or a picture, whatever they wanted to do. And then when they sent it, that would go with the, be like, I don't know, part of the booklet or something, but that would represent the song. Cool idea, I think. I still want to do that. I still want to do it at some
Dude,
point.
why don't you do like a submissions thing? Like have people after the record comes out, take that idea and expand on it even more. Like give your artist friends, but then get submissions from fans or like people that listen to No Bragging Rights.
That'd be cool.
And have their interpretation of the artwork for each song and do like a little fucking book.
That'd be sick.
I think it'd be tight.
That would be really cool. Dang. Okay. Yes. Okay.
TM Walking Blind podcast.
Yeah.
Copyright 2021/2022.
Yeah. So that was the idea we wanted, and so from that, it kind of became like, it was just going to be a lot of work to figure out how much to, compensate our friends. Cause as much as I know, I'm pretty sure all of them would have probably done it for free, but it's going to be like out. And so I don't know. It just felt we needed to compensate people and we needed to like do it right. And then it was like figuring out sizes and how big they were going to be.
Yeah.
So in the end, we decided to just have one of our friends who's an artist basically come up with the ideas. And when we hit up our buddy Alan, he came up with the idea of symbols and using symbols for each one. And it was cool. So just, I don't want to go into this, but like for myself, I'm like, I've kind of done my own research and I've been really big on like symbols and, like what they mean and stuff. And, not that I'm into the occult or anything at all. I'm not, but, I just, it's interesting. A lot of the symbols in our world and what their origins are. So
I think it's safe to admit that you're kind of a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully we won't go into any of that stuff in this. I don't know. We'll see. Unless people want to hear how freaking crazy I am.
Your funny wild rants.
Yeah. But so it was cool. So he sent us. I remember the first drafts he sent us. They were really cool, and I kind of had like a couple notes because I was like, hey man, just like so this isn't I know you're not doing anything on purpose, whatever, but this is just kind of what I see, and so I kind of sent him some notes, and then he sent me back kind of like what his inspirations were, where he found certain things from. So it was cool. I was happy with it, and. I think I wrote this on like I responded to this comment because I saw it and I was like, ooh, I want to nip this quick, but I just there's still stuff that you can interpret it, and I see it too, but it's a compromise. Like the guys in my band liked it, and I heard what Alan's take on the symbols were, so I'm okay with it.
And who's Alan? You want to like fully shout him out?
Alan Ashcraft. He's shoot, I know I want to say he works a part of, I don't want to mess with the label. This label, maybe we'll edit it in. Is that how that works?
We can edit that in. We'll look it up.
Yeah, everybody, Alan. Well, we've toured together, and he does really cool work. And Daniel was actually the one who was really recommending that we go through him, and so Daniel kind of spearheaded the art side of it. But yeah, aside from like my idea of like the having artists do the thing, I'm like not that guy when it comes to like art stuff or like shirt designs or anything like that. Like, I'll like anything that gets like put in front of me. I'm always like, that's cool. Yeah. Like I'm probably not gonna wear a t-shirt. So it's like, if you guys think other people would want to wear this, awesome. Like, but I'm not very creative on that side. So
I don't see a particular label, but we'll full on shout him out. It's alanashcraft.com for his site, and there's a bunch of cool stuff.
Yeah, he killed it. The album artwork looks sick. The album looks rad. But yeah, so Alan did the artwork.
All right, so then do you want to jump into the record itself from start to finish? Are there particular songs that you want to talk about more than others, or would you rather talk about the 3 that are currently out? Or
I'll go in order.
Okay.
I wish this is like where I wish like Daniel or anyone else in the band. Like, I'm really bad with like timelines and like dates and when things happen. I can't remember if this was the first song I actually sent. Like, if this was the first song we got. I'm sure the guys in the band are like, no, dude, this is like
this was 7th.
Yeah. But anyway, so we opened the EP with a song called The Strength's Perspective. And I'll just read what I have here because I was going to basically just say what this is. But the Strength's Perspective is a social work practice theory that focuses on finding the client's strengths, talents, abilities, and resources, validating what someone feels while reminding them of their strength, resilience, and ability to persevere. And so, I always, even before I went back to school and was getting into social work. And by the way, I want to say this, like, I'll probably have to say this a couple of times. Kind of like when you watch like anything on like crypto or like stocks, they're like,
this is not financial advice.
This is not financial advice. I'm not licensed or anything. Like, I have my degree, but I can't like, what's it called? Like, prescribe anything or diagnose. I'm just here to talk, give you my 2 cents. But so when I was going to school and I heard about that perspective in social work, I right away was like, oh, that's like, I feel like that's kind of what I want my style to be. And what I feel like I've always had is I like to point out strengths, I feel like, in people. And like, I've always like right away, I think I'm a pretty private person, and I don't really show, like, I don't get too emotional about things, I don't think. But and so that being said, whenever anybody would share something with me, I was always so blown away. Like, I always thought that was like brave as hell. Anytime somebody shares with me, I'm really sorry. I'm gonna be burping because of the soda.
Anytime that somebody kind of opens up and gets vulnerable, is always an interesting scenario.
Yeah,
especially people that like really like that don't know you.
Yeah,
you know.
Complete. Yeah, exactly. And they're sharing like really, really personal things, and it's like, it's always super humbling. But right away, even when I was like always like, I've always been kind of scared to like when people share with me, because I'm like, oh, like, what do I say? And my first thing is I always compliment like just the bravery it takes to even talk to me, someone that they probably don't know, or even people that do know me. And so anyway, so I've this song is just kind of focuses on strength and perseverance and validation. Like in this song, I don't know if I'm gonna actually read too much of it, but it's basically like the opening lines are kind of describing, how it feels to feel, whatever it is, like anxiety, or just feeling like the world's crushing you, or that you're drowning, and validating someone's feelings in that, because that's something, I've personally felt. A lot of us feel that, and from in a social work, lens, whenever we talk to anybody, we just want to like, validate what they're feeling is real. Like no matter what, and that's what worries me about a lot a lot of people who, you know, are struggling with things, they just feel like, you know, their situation might just be unique to them, and that's it. And then, you know, no one else is feeling what they're feeling. So they feel almost embarrassed to share, when it's like, you know, if you would be open, if you just kind of be willing to talk and share, you'd realize there's a lot of people going through similar things. Although your experience is unique to you, but it's still like you're not alone in that.
I think there's something to understand too about, you know, particularly about your feelings and your emotions. Like how do I say it properly? I dated somebody who was bipolar, and the way that like it clicked with me and it made sense was that it was basically explained like, hey, whether you agree with the feelings or emotions or not, whether they're irrational or not, whether, you know, this is like out of left field, it's like there's no validity to it, whatever the case may be, it's still an emotion that they're feeling. Yeah. It's still an emotion that they're going through. So it doesn't matter whether you believe it or not. It doesn't matter if it's even true or not, or if this is actually, you know, if what they're feeling even happened. It's still an emotion that they're feeling. Yeah. So that you have to kind of approach it in that sense where it's like, well, I mean, it didn't happen that way, but you're still feeling these emotions, right. Or things, you know, things aren't the way they're perceiving them, but they're still feeling the entire weight of all of that on them. Yeah. So that perspective too, like going back to, you know, the things that you were saying, like you don't know what anybody else is going through. And you like, even if you think you do, and even if you've gone through the same things, you never know how somebody else is handling it emotionally versus how you would have handled the exact same situation. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. It's
one of my favorite things that like I've learned and had to really like sit back on is feel versus real. And that, like you said, feeling is, you know, and especially in that moment, that's what they're feeling, and that's real for them, regardless of what it is. Like, just an easy, simple example of that is just when somebody is just like, this could be for anything. It doesn't have to necessarily be mental health. It could be anything. It's like when you feel like, oh, that person hates me. Yeah. Well, that's how you feel, and maybe they do hate, but it's like that's probably not real. You know, in most cases, you know, you don't know. But anyways, that's emotions, feelings.
So what was the second song on the record?
So the second song is Walking Blind, which we do have a video out for. This one, I don't know who I've talked to and said what to. So some of this is going to probably be a lot of repeating. This song was interesting in the sense that when we were leaving to record, I think I did talk about this. When we were leaving to record, I already had the 6 songs, and I had pretty much lyrics, and I had sent vocal ideas for all these songs. And then Tron and Daniel were getting together to like rework one of the songs, but then they ended up finishing an idea that they had, and so they sent me a new song, which is cool, but at the same time, like,
we're recording tomorrow.
Yeah, it's like, dude, I've like, and I like to really sit and take my time with stuff, and so I just kind of like, I was at peace with the fact that I was like, well, this isn't going to be on the EP. 6 songs sounds like a pretty well-rounded number, and you know, I'm not going to stress myself to crank out another song. And so then I was like, I'm just going to listen to it. I'm on the flight to the studio because we recorded in Tacoma, Washington. And on the flight, from like the minute we like started to take off till we landed, I finished the song. Lyrics and everything, and I even recorded a demo on the plane. And I had, at the time, I had this little ghetto, like, you know, little recording app on my phone, and then my headphones had the microphone.
Wait, so you're just on the flight, like,
literally that mumbling. So I was like, well, how can I can't say, like everything, the only area we really changed was like, because the ideas were there, even though like yeah. It's one thing to like mumble it and then like attempt to sing it.
Well, especially because like kind of like opening the blinds or opening up the curtains and talking about like the writing process, like one of the things you kind of put me onto, and then I think in turn that your guys put you onto, was when it comes to like writing heavy and like hardcore stuff, for me it was always like, I have to scream it to see how it sounds like every time I do it, right? And then you were like, yeah, I just talk the verses out and I just talk the ideas out in time with the music. And I was like, why does that make so much fucking sense to me? Like, why didn't I think of that before?
Well, I think the idea came, well, at least the first time I heard it, I think Daniel or whatever heard it, was, I think Shai Hulud does that. They talk their, I could be wrong, but I feel like it's something like Shai Hulud did where Matt would just like talk out the patterns basically. Or maybe
talk out the patterns and the parts and then just come back and.
Yeah, which is so nice to not have to like blow out your voice for an idea that you're not going to use.
You've been doing this for how long now? Yeah. I've just been,
Yeah, Martin did it. Actually, pretty much at one point, everyone in my band, dude, we have such really funny recordings that I'm sure, I hope we never share. But yeah, just like, it's just I'm sure there's like people that are like, yeah, duh. Like, how else would you do that? But hopefully maybe one person in a band who screams.
Hey, here's a little life hack.
Dude, talk it out.
Talk it out. Don't just scream at the top of your lungs while you're writing, because that gets you burn out really quick.
Yeah.
Unless you're just tough as shit and you don't, then by all means. But I'm not.
No. And it saves so many takes. That's like one of my biggest pet peeves in recording, where it's like, I love Daniel, and Daniel brought out the best, and Tron, they both brought out the best of like me. But like, they'd be like, hey, that's cool. After I like finished the part, and they're like, hey, what if you did it like this? And like in my mind, and probably because I just finished screaming, I'm like, why didn't you tell me that sooner? Like, especially if the idea sounds like you just hear it and you're like, yeah, that would be cooler. Why didn't you just say that like before I just took all these takes to try to get that part? But no, but it's all for the best.
If I remember correctly, was it Walking Blind? There was a vocal melody in there that Daniel sent over, that we were like, I don't really know about that. Because we were doing the demos and stuff. Was that Walking Blind?
No. It was.
Or was that Strengths Perspective?
Oh shoot, I know what you're talking about. Was it the? Is it the? Oh,
yeah. I think it is. I think it is Walking Blind. Or
Strengths Perspective. No. Breaking Point.
Breaking Point. Yeah. It's Breaking Point.
Yeah.
The not measured by someone, because it wasn't like that originally. No.
And I tried it, and I was like, it doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound good when I do it.
And we demoed that here, and we were both like, I don't know. And I just remember Daniel being pretty adamant, like, no, yeah, do that.
Yeah.
Do that.
But we made it work. It works good as a backup vocal. And it's a backup vocal now. I don't even know if I don't know. I didn't record it in the studio. But yeah. And that's a nice thing. Some ideas work, some of them don't, or some become different things. For Strengths Perspective, I remember the chorus was super high. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And we realized I was singing the harmony.
Yeah.
The higher harmony.
Yeah, I think I told you to go lower, didn't I?
I think so, yeah.
Because it was like that. Oh, you're really pushing to get that high. Yeah.
Oh my God. It was rough. Do we have that somewhere?
Yeah. Strengths Perspective is also the song. If anybody followed me or followed Martin on Instagram, that's when we were helping you with the vocal patterns in the studio. And it was that song. We didn't include any audio because this was all demos, and this was all like, hey, nobody can hear this shit yet. Yeah. But we were trying to help you with your timing, because there's a part in there that the timing was just...
I have really shitty timing. It's bad. I'm not trying to be humble. My timing's bad. To the point where literally...
Timing and ad-libs, not Mike's strong suit.
I hate ad-libs. They're so cool when other bands do them. like the ooh, or like blah, or oh, or I don't know. Oh, it's like they're cool, but I don't really do them live. I don't think ever. Yeah,
I don't think I've heard you do them.
I don't know. I leave that to like Dan and Martin. They're much better hype guys. I'm trying to catch my breath. I'm not trying to do extra stuff.
Yeah.
It went out. So yeah, it had a strengths perspective had a much higher vocal melody, and I was singing the harmony.
Yeah.
And it was very ambitious. Also, like what people don't understand, like I haven't, done a lot of this stuff in so long, and so I feel like I did attempt some things that I was like, oh, okay, maybe not. Maybe that's a little, it's a little much. But
so if all of this sounded or looked really funny, we just had some camera issues that we had to work out. But we're back. Okay, so we're talking Breaking Point, right? Mm-hmm. Which is the second song.
Oh wait, Walking Blind. I didn't get to finish that one.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Walking Blind. So Walking Blind was the song that you wrote on the plane.
Yeah.
Because I remember you leaving and saying, "Oh, they sent me another song, but if I can't finish it, it's just not going to end up on the EP." And then it ends up being one of the first 2 singles to drop that has a music video and everything.
Yeah.
So.
And that it also took the longest because the nice thing about being able to record and finally like actually have time to demo and stuff was we already knew for the most part what I was doing on all the songs. Vocally, we had an idea. And then Walking Blind, like it took a long time because first off the band's hearing a lot of this stuff. I'm hearing it for the first time too, like full volume. It's one thing to like mumble something or like talk out apart, and then to hear it. Because like I think I originally thought like the verses would be sang. I think that's what I thought they were gonna be. And then now they're more of like it's like a raspy singing.
Yeah.
I don't really. Yeah. I think it's a different type of singing for me, or at least I don't get to do too much.
It's more rappy than anything.
Yeah. And so so that one took forever because it was our first time hearing the song, everyone kind of hearing it for the first time, having opinions on what to change.
And so since we're talking about the song, well, first off, let's talk about like what is your breakdown of like what is the song about?
Okay, so I don't know if I want to read all these now.
You don't have to.
It's early enough, right? But I'm not going to read them all. Or I'm not going to read them word for word. Okay, so basically, the idea of the song is just how it's about addiction and how it's really hard to, like the whole, like the saying of like, you can't help somebody that doesn't want to be helped. And it's true, and so it's just about how, most people who have addiction, they have a lot of failed attempts because they're not sincere and they're wanting to get clean or whatever it is that they're going through, and just how when you finally surrender to help and you finally stop reaching for things that aren't going to pull you out, is when you actually get yourself out and you actually start to you have an opportunity to really fight something that's very serious in addiction. So yeah, that's what that song is. The idea of walking blind is just walking aimlessly. When you're and when you're struggling, you're basically grabbing at whatever you can to fill that void. And yeah.
Also, very poignant note because the show that you're listening to now is called Walking Blind, based off of this song. And we are also just grasping for whatever we can right now because we're still trying to figure this shit out. Yeah. So it works. It's fitting. And then so that song ended up being one of the first 2 singles, well, the first 3 singles that were released. And it was one of the first music videos technically that we saw that you got back.
Yeah.
And So I want to pull back the curtain a little bit more, because if you haven't watched the video, go now. Go watch the video right now. If you have watched the video, then you probably know what I'm talking about. There's some really cool scenes. One of Mike running full speed through the forest, just like he's running for first.
He's gonna have a killer, Bella.
and then there's also this, like, I give you shit. It's such a good shot, but it's also funny at the same time because you're in the jungle essentially.
Forest.
You're in the forest, and there's like this perfect panning shot around like a bush that you're standing behind, and you're like aggressively singing or screaming or something, and you have no microphone in your hands, and it's the Talladega Nights, like, I don't know what to do with my hands moment. Oh. So can you, and I know that other portions of filming that video were kind of crazy. So can you talk about that process too?
Yeah. So when we're filming with Tim Burton is his birth name, and so he was they're talking about like ideas for shots, and one of them was to check out areas in like this wooded area, and so we go, and it's a really beautiful area. I was stoked, and we had gone that day. We got like a speaker so that we can have playback, and so we find an area that we feel comfortable recording in, and then we get the song, and Tim's like, yeah, stand here, and I'm not even exaggerating a little bit. It didn't even cross my mind until he was like, all right, we're gonna record. That I was like, oh shit, I don't have a microphone.
Yeah.
I was like, wait. I was like, what do I do with my hands? Like, what am I supposed to do? I don't have a mic. And he's like, oh, just, or they Tron was like, oh, dude, just use your hands. Like, talk with your hands. I was like, what?
I've never done this before.
And thankfully, I think Tim realized, like, saw the fear start to set in. And I think it was smart of him to be like, all right, go. And he like push record. Yeah. And I just had it.
You just had to figure it out.
Just do it. Yeah.
Just try it out.
I don't even know what I was trying to think of every
cool move you've ever seen somebody do without a mic.
I was thinking like everything from like Eminem to like Rob from Lionheart, or like I was so freaking lost. I felt so awkward because now we're in the forest. And shooting music, shooting music videos, taking promos, all that stuff, to me is like super embarrassing anyway, especially when you're out in the world, not in the studio. Yeah. And then to have I'm lip syncing to like the music out of the radio or out of the speaker, and
probably
then
like a little like Bluetooth speaker.
Yeah. And then I'm just like trying to figure out what to do with my hands, and I felt so.
Not to mention that weekend that you guys were up there, it was like 100.
Dude, people died
20 degrees
from the heat.
Yeah. Which is insane.
Yeah, it was like a record, like the hottest it's been in Tacoma. I think, I don't know, probably ever. I think it was like it was so hot. We would record. So we were on the rooftop, which was cool. It was such a rad spot. And then we would go through the song once, and then as soon as we hit cut, we would all like run to like a shaded area that we had, and we would just kind of like try to douse ourselves with water, and then like basically like stripping down to like our underwear
and just towel off.
And just toweling off and like trying not to puke. That was my goal. My goal was like not to pass out or to throw up. And we none of us passed out or threw up. Thankfully they kept us pretty hydrated, which is nice. But it was so freaking hot. It looked cool. It was cool. Cool shot. It had a really beautiful view. But it was so hot, and it was like we started filming in, I think, like 1 PM. Yeah, in the middle of the freaking day,
like peak sunlight, like pure daytime. Yeah,
and it was one of those things like we were all trying to like pump each other up, like, dude, you guys, we've done a Warped Tour in the summer.
We've done worse than this.
And then I think it was Daniel was like, yeah, we haven't done that shit in years. We're soft now.
It's been a while.
But so it was. So when I see that, I think of the awkwardness in the woods. I think of like almost dying on a rooftop. And then What else about that song? But yeah, that was the first video that we got to see, and that was cool. That was kind of like I was like, okay, like it's starting to happen. Like a lot of people don't realize we had the demo done. We had the EP recorded and done by like February.
Yeah.
And then we didn't shoot any of the videos. We shot both videos. Oh, that's the other thing too. We thought it'd be a good idea to shoot 3 music videos in one weekend. Thankfully, we only had the budget to do 2. We actually really didn't even have a budget to do 2, but we somehow made it work.
You just made it happen.
Yeah. And so we shot 2 videos in one weekend, but and that was in June, or the end of June. Yeah, end of June. And so it was just nice because like having the songs done back in February, you kind of forget, or not forget, but it's like,
yeah,
you're just sitting on it, just sitting on these songs. And so it was cool. It was cool to see the video come back. I thought, I don't like music videos. Like I don't like shooting music videos. I don't like doing photo shoots. I don't like any of that stuff. And so
you're still punk, Mike. We get it.
yeah. Hey, that's my punk moment. Yeah. We want to have like, we were talking about how like we should have a segment where it's like still punk, and it's like moments where you prove your punk rock. So that was mine for this episode.
That was your still punk moment.
That was my, yeah. But I was stoked. Like when he sent in the video, I thought he did an awesome job. And then freaking Breaking Point. Well, we'll get to Breaking Point next.
Yeah, it's just wild to think that I think I said earlier, but the song that was just like, well, we don't know if it's gonna make it.
Yeah,
ends up being one of the, I guess main singles from the EP. So
yeah. The last song that was kind of like that was Repeater for us. Even though Repeater was never, it was. I wish we played it more, but that was a song that I remember was the last one we had. And I think it was kind of close to not being on the album, but I love that song. It sucks to sing, but I love it.
All right. So then moving on, song number 3 is Breaking Point.
Yeah.
Correct. And then Breaking Point, there is also a video out for. Also, once again, another one of the first few singles that came out on the EP, and happens to star a good friend of ours,
the beautiful Megan Golden,
the loveliness Megan Golden, which we do want to pull her on the show. We want to talk to her on the show. So hopefully that episode is coming soon. But so that was one of the first demo songs.
Yeah.
So that was one of the few, like the 3 that you guys had. Strengths Perspective, that one, and one other song. I don't remember which one it was. But these were one of the ones that you initially sent to Pure Noise.
Yeah.
And ended up being the first single, essentially.
And honestly, I feel like this was the song that like, as soon as they sent this song, I remember thinking like, oh, dude, this is like, I think we're back. I think we're like,
this is gonna be cool.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Or at least I know I was like, I like this.
Yeah.
Because I felt like it was I feel like Daniel killed it on like, it's a very melodic song with like really heavy parts in it, and like I think my favorite part is the transition from the chorus into the 2-step right before the breakdown. Like, just like, I really enjoyed listening to these songs. That's the other thing too. I told the band, like when they were writing, I was stoked. I was like, dude, thank you. Like keep sending these songs, but I can't write for these until I'm on my Thanksgiving break
from school.
Yeah, from school, or like my Christmas break. And so I would just listen to the songs, and I loved just listening to them. I thought Daniel did such a good job with them. And so Breaking Point. One of the things I remember about this was I remember when I was writing it, I just felt like there was a lot of like a lot of frustration in this song, and like a lot of like almost like it's such a melodic song, but I felt like it was also very I'm sure Daniel could word it so much better than I can, but it just felt very like I don't know, dramatic. Like it just, but it's like, but there's such pretty moments in the song, which is I'm sure Daniel's probably like, oh my god, dude. And so I remember writing the guys and being like, hey, I'm kind of stuck with a couple. I feel like the song can go a couple different ways. And one of the original ideas for the lyrics was to have like a man who's lost his job, and he's like frustrated with where his life is and how he just feels stuck. But it's he's like in a tough situation where he doesn't want to like what's he can do with his family and so that kind of like almost like feeling of despair.
Right.
And then I wanted to almost write from another perspective. First couple of drafts were the perspective of abuse from the other side of it, like the
abuser.
Yeah. And then what's it called? And so I don't really know why I like not settled, but why I ended up going with the intimate partner violence one with this. And I had someone I read all the comments, by the way, guys. I had someone that put like, I wish somebody would do a take on because it goes both ways. You know, women abusing men kind of stuff, and which is totally true. But I was just I don't know. I wrote from that perspective. I wrote from the perspective I did just because I just felt like I don't know. I've sadly heard a little more from friends that have been on that end of it, and so that was so this song had a couple different directions where I was gonna go before I actually really started like writing for it. But I remember demoing this in my bathroom, and it was like late at night. It was like super late, and I was so tired. And I just didn't feel like screaming. And then I remember when I finally got to the chorus part and trying to figure out how because the break part was gonna have just like a lead in, and then it was gonna just let it go because I thought it was such a cool breakdown and nothing in between it, and then come in after. And then when like when I figured out how to make the rose part fit, I was like, oh, I like that. I was like, oh, I like that.
Like, this sounds dope.
And there's very few times. I don't know if I'm sure guys, anyone who's a vocalist, I'm sure there's other areas in life where this happens, but like I can tell when like guys think I did something well, and then I can tell when they're kind of like, well, yeah, it's good. We can work with that, or like, oh yeah, that's cool. I like where your head's at. We'll just try different things. But it was cool because I remember getting like pretty immediate feedback from the guys during that part, and they were like, oh, that was like, dude, that was.
This is
She rose the breakdown.
Okay.
And they were like, yeah, it didn't change a whole lot. Other than that vocal melody idea that Daniel was saying, which eventually became the harmony, which is made it sound really cool.
Yeah, the combination of we were looking at things from like a very singular perspective of like either this way or this way, and we didn't think about putting the two together. But another thing I want to point out about this song too, and also goes out like through the record, is that this time around you actually have both Daniel and Martin doing like legit parts and verses, not just harmonies or backups or ad-libs. Like you hear both Daniel and Martin actually have vocal parts on this song.
I loved that, and I felt like I get there's certain parts where I should layer my voice, and there's parts where I can, I get it. I get that side of it. But I really like there was parts where I guess I could have done it, but I thought it would sound so much cooler to break it up because we do that live anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hate when bands don't do what they do live, but as long as the part's done, at least for us, even if we like, there's there's definitely parts on the album that like I don't do it the way it's on the album, and I let someone else. It's mostly when it's mostly like an ending, so that I can come in on the next part, which is usually a singing part,
Right.
which I want to do. I want to do singing parts, and so, I love that. I'm really curious to see what people's thoughts. Oh, you've heard it, so I'm really curious to see what everyone's thoughts are, because it feels. I feel like it gives it more layers, and it also gives it what we are live.
Yeah.
Daniel does a lot of vocal stuff live. So does Martin, you know? And so they're on it. Like they're like Mike was saying, they're featured on it. Yeah, it's that one, Walking Blind, and,
one of the other songs.
Regret.
Sure. Okay.
Regret. They both have really dominant like parts in those songs. Yeah, that was. I'm really curious to see what people think about hearing a lot of them.
And then I guess we'll talk a little bit about the video, but I want to talk more with Megan about it, because cool. She did a lot of like really. Let's be real. She did the heavy lifting on this video.
Dude, it's like I had zero doubt.
Yeah.
I was just like, dude, I feel like, and once I got the okay from the guys, because I was like, hey, hear me out.
Yeah.
And then when I told her, and then I just knew they would freaking knock it out of the park, and they did.
I think that the dynamic, because Megan is a friend. She's been around for so long at this point. And then also she's a fan of the music. She's a fan of hardcore. She's a fan of, she's a fan of No Bragging Rights. And then she's a fan of what you guys are doing. And so like for it to be a huge like coming together of all the worlds to make that video happen was like sick. And like I said, like we'll talk more about it with her, because I want her side of things. But for you guys, it was really awesome to have her be part of it. Yeah, I was very, very happy that it worked out, and it wasn't like it's not even like, oh, like she kind of like it makes the video, I think. Yeah, absolutely. You guys could have just not even been. There could have been nothing about you guys in the video. Honestly, yeah. Like it would have probably. I mean, other than the song, but Yeah. But yeah, I think that definitely for that song to have come together the way that it did, and for all the pieces to fall together, it was the right choice to have it, especially be like the first single. And then it just that happened to come out on. In October. Yeah, which is like Awareness Month. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Is it domestic abuse or Intimate Partner Violence Awareness Month or something like that? Okay. And it wasn't. We didn't plan that as much as we we want to say as cool as it would be to be like, yeah, we planned this. Yeah. Actually label. Maybe they knew. I don't know. Maybe they knew. But they're the ones who were like, yeah, let's release this in October. We're like, all right, cool. And it just so happened to be the month. So. They're smart folks over there at Pure Noise. They know what they're talking about. They know what they're doing. So they do. They probably thought 10 steps ahead of everybody else as soon as they heard that first demo. Yeah. So, all right. So next song. Next song is Stages, and so Stages. It's for the 5 stages of grief. There are other models that have more steps or stages, whatever you want to call them. And the main ones are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. And in a way, I felt like this song, I thought it should come after The Wait, but it's whatever. But it doesn't have to be like loss for literal death. It's just for grief. Anytime you're grieving, and it's the steps that someone goes through. And so I tried to write a song to kind of explain that, or at least what those steps can kind of look like. I mean, it's not
perfect by any means, but that was the attempt. I wanted to try to talk about the different stages of guilt and of grief, not guilt. But yeah, this one I feel like this was one where like I remember we were like, oh, there's your scream.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And this, if I remember right, is this the one that you also reached out to like Daniel and Tron and were like, what was your headspace writing?
That was for all of them, but yeah.
But I think there was one that was a lot more personal, and I don't remember if it was this one or not.
Man, I don't know. That's hard because like I feel like at some point we've had like those kind of discussions for.
I could be completely wrong, and if I am, we can cut this. But I thought that there was a song there was a song that was written with the perspective of somebody had passed away from cancer, or somebody was battling an illness or a sickness or something like that. I don't know if that was this song or not.
Yes, it was a song.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then that helps play into like the.
I forgot about that.
Really?
So you remind me about that. Yeah.
Okay. I was like, I know I'm not crazy. I think something did happen. Yeah, because I remember you saying that this was like you weren't sure what to write at first, and that was kind of the driving force.
And then they told me where their headspace was.
Yeah.
And why. Yeah.
Yeah. And you're right. And then this song was the one where we were fucking around demoing and stuff, and then there was like at one point where we were like, oh nope, there it is. Do that scream that you're doing, like
I don't like screaming.
The anger here, like the frustration here, like do this.
Can I tell them your master engineer note?
Go for it.
So okay, so when we're recording again, I haven't screamed like this, like to write like this. Like I've done like little guest things here and there for friends and stuff, but like to get in that headspace and to like want to scream, like I think I was trying too hard.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of like I'm coming back and it's got to be tough.
Yeah.
You know.
It's got I think that's a good way to put it. I wanted it to sound tough, and I was like, I think it was trying to come in like my voice probably deeper, which I've made this mistake before, and so Mike, this is I think like the second, like maybe our second day of like doing demoing and stuff.
Yeah.
And Mike gave me the best note I've ever gotten, I think, in the studio, and it was, I hear that you're going for tough, but like I think, like for you, I think your scream comes from a better place of like when you're like more pissed.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, cool. And he's like, think of like student loans and your dry spell. All right, go. And you hit record. And now it came pain.
It was like I
wasn't
like,
mad. I was sad.
You know, it was like half joke, half like, hey, let's find something to draw from, you know, and it just worked out because right after I said that, and then we started recording, like your scream actually came out. Like,
my scream came.
Like your actual scream came back, and we're like, there it is. Now let's go back and redo all the old shit because it was all this like weird tough guy stuff. So
it was a good note. I was definitely pissed.
Hey, whatever works, whatever gets the job done.
Yeah, that was. I think Martin was there for that too.
But yeah, that's the thing. Like that was the moment where you kind of like fell back into the groove and the rhythm of it.
Yeah,
you know,
it was nice too because I feel like I don't want to get into like the technical side of this because I don't know it. I don't know, but it was like definitely like me, just not trying to like make it like push more. I think I was like this. That's the other thing too. I think I was really pushing vocally, and then for this one, it was not that I like sat back or anything, but I just it was more emotional than it was for me than it was trying to be like tough. It was just like let me get into like what these songs are about, you know?
Yeah.
As lame as that sounds, but I'm glad you reminded me of that because I forgot about that. What's up, guys? Thanks so much for checking out episode 2, part 1. Please stay tuned for part 2 of this episode.